Welcome, guys. Welcome to another episode of Kicking for Three. I am very, very excited to film this episode. I'm very excited to talk about ball. How you hanging in there, Cameron? How's this week going for you?
Don't even want to do this week. I didn't even watch Monday Night Football, how much I hated this week. Everything went wrong, but we'll get in all of it. It's just football, man. Fucking
hmm
football. It's
Um,
brutal.
and I think it's so many. I think we're just gonna hop right into this game. There's other stuff to talk about. There's other important news, but for us, this is the reason behind the podcast. Cowboys versus Steelers, 4 years in the making. How'd you feel about this, Cameron?
So going in, it's Sunday. I was preparation. You were coming over. Life's good. Brought down all the stuff in the garage. Garage set up, ready to go. I remember you show up at 9:20, and you were like, "Kickoff happened yet?" And I'm like, "We're in a delay. That should be maybe because usually when a primetime game is delayed like this, it's usually maybe the latest 10 o'clock it
Yeah.
starts. But this one, the rain would not let up. So where we live, Sunday Night Football starts at 9:20. I know in the East Coast mainly that's where people are. That
Yeah.
starts at 8:20, but we're an hour ahead. So the game didn't start for us till 11:30. So George showed up at my house there at about 9:20. We waited, and then as soon as Jordan leaves, he gets home. We hop on Discord here, and the fucking players are on the field. The game's
hmm
starting in 10 minutes.
My
So
prediction.
already off. We were already off to a weird start
hmm
with we're supposed to watch this live together. We're supposed to do all this stuff for it, but it was weird weather too. Remember we were even looking at Twitter. It legit looked like it was a hurricane.
We're watching
Super
local
weird.
network or local
News outlets
news
for it.
reports for it. But I thought it was gonna get canceled. My guess was gonna be if they
I kind of
delayed
wish
it.
it did.
That's what we were hoping too. I guess now I don't want it to be canceled, but I think it was. I thought it was after 12. It was like they're gonna say we can't do this, but it was it was definitely weird because I had the Hail Mary because I was supposed to. I work for a group home, so I do 24-hour shifts. And I mostly don't mind that because you kind of work more and then you can have some days off in the week. But I was so mad because it was the only time I need to get out of the overnight shift. And so like I literally like probably 3 o'clock, like 5 hours before the game, then finally someone responded, someone covered the overnight. So we're so hyped. We drove, got all the way there, got some McDonald's. We're
That
so
was that was
pumped.
that was the highlight. That was the highlight.
And then we probably
Appreciate
we
that, by
probably
the way.
waited for like an hour and a half, and then we're like, I guess we'll just go home and watch on Discord if it ends up
The other
starting.
weird thing about that night was it felt so weird at like 2 in the morning and a football game was still on.
Yeah,
Like I,
it
I
was like
had
a
the,
hockey game.
I worked at 8 in the morning and I remember I blinked and I woke up the next day with a loss and I was just that
No,
was not
it felt
worth it.
completely like it
The
was like
game
a
even
hockey
felt like
game.
a fever dream.
Yeah.
Like it was fucked.
But
But like
this for
I
us
really
is
just want to get into the game aspects of it. So I was still happy with Justin Fields. I find the defense they played really good the first half.
that's
Second
a good
half they did
place.
basically nothing. So Justin Fields won 15 for 27 for 131 yards. I mean, it could be better. He had 2 touchdowns, one rushing touchdown. But the one highlight I find on his stat line for this game and the Steelers really need to work on 3 sacks. That is a lot.
Mm.
That is a lot of sacks, and I think all two of the 3 sacks happened in that second half where Steelers got a touchdown, and I think one of them happened in the red zone as well, and they had to kick the field goal.
hmm
But it's just like it was an overall okay game for him. But there was one highlight for the Steelers that game: T.J. Watt getting his 100th career sack on Dak Prescott. That was
Whatever.
awesome, especially with the
Whatever.
helmet coming off too. That was amazing. And you got to admit though, that defense is scary. You even seen in that fumble on
What's
the
the best
goal
thing you
line.
guys got going for you, if you've anything?
Cam Newton just got embarrassed again because he saw Dak Prescott jump on a fumble. Remember Super Bowl 50, Cam Newton. If he jumped on that, you don't know that play.
Oh, like the start of the
Yeah, when he fumbled the
yeah.
ball and he didn't. Yeah,
How's
but
that
Dak did
equivalent
it
to a Super Bowl game?
because no, I'm saying it's just. I'm just saying Cam Newton was watching that. He's like, shit, I should have done that in the Super Bowl
Oh,
because Dak jumped on it and he got it. He
yeah,
saved the
no,
Cowboys.
fucking that
I'm
would have
saying
been.
Dak did good. I know that you're not used to hearing that in the same sentence,
That's why I'm surprised.
but
But to me, this was I think, and your team definitely had problems too. But this was a sloppy, sloppy game
It was
for
both ends.
Dallas.
It was really bad.
Really bad.
No one deserved to win.
Eh, Cowboys did, but
Yeah. Whatever makes you sleep at night.
but yeah, especially for penalty. Do you have the stat in front of you? I know. Didn't they gave up so?
Yeah, the Cowboys
many,
even in the first half, I think they had 80 yards alone in penalties.
so
It was
much
all just like it was like offsides or like false starts or
holding.
like
Yeah,
holding.
there's a
I
few
find
false
Dallas
starts.
is notorious for holding calls.
Hmm.
But overall, like I had fun watching the game. I did enjoy it. It was like I liked how the game really went to legit the last second. And
Hmm.
even that fourth and goal play, that wasn't like a wide open throw for Dak.
No,
Like
it
that,
was.
even the defender was leeching off him. So like it was like we said, it was both awful games on our end, but it was
Hmm.
still so fun to watch. Like I loved how it came down to the end. The one time Dak is clutch, by the way, too.
He's usually clutch. He's usually not.
No,
It's like he's just not clutching like playoffs. Like he's usually. I don't know his actual numbers for, but he's usually for game-winning drives. He's pretty good. I'd say he's definitely top 5 for game-winning drives. He's no like Mahomes, but I think he
no.
can. He can definitely bring up. We were dying. What was the thing when they kept like reviewing a call? I can't remember the exact call on the top of my head, but like you could just hear the fan yell like, "Get
Oh, they
this!"
were, yeah, I don't got no fucking know because the game was delayed. Yeah. Oh, what were they doing? Oh my god.
Yeah, it was such a
It was
stupid.
something to do with like the ball placement. Oh, remember as a Cowboys player, his foot went out of bounds,
Oh
and they were
yeah,
trying to
yeah,
figure that out.
yeah.
Yeah, like that. I remember it even showed on TV. Steelers fans were out during the delay, and they had shirts off and everything, chugging beers. The crazy fans, way better fans than the Cowgirls. Well, you have to admit that is true.
Okay, we
And
literally it's
half
like
of Cowboys fans are
it's a
bandwagons.
coliseum every time they play at AT&T.
Mm. Yeah, I didn't see much. Usually, Cowboys fans travel well. I didn't see much Cowboys fans at all in
There's a
Acrisure
decent
Stadium.
few. I don't know.
No,
There was a decent
no.
few. They kept cutting to a few.
Dude, I'm surprised when the Niners and Cowboys play at AT&T. You see quite a bit of red.
Well, I think there's a lot of people from California. I think that moved to
Texas.
Texas.
Yeah.
But
So
no, I
trying to
think
get out of that Democrat state.
get out of here. Actually, though, if there's not a political podcast, but if statistic like Texas is actually pretty close to Democrat. Like it's almost a
Oh,
flip state.
Texas is getting hit with a massive hurricane right now too.
Yeah. Did that affect any of the games that happened
It
this week?
may, because the Bucks play the Saints, and that's in New Orleans, so they're good. I don't really know about the other games. I don't hear anything, so I'm assuming. Like I don't think Miami is playing at home either, so they should be good. Actually, I think they're on a bye.
Mm-hmm. But
So
how was your week for fantasy? How'd you
so
do?
fantasy, I was playing the only guy on our league that didn't have a fucking win. So I was ready to go, but I did have the Lions. I did have the Lions on a bye, so I did have Jameer Gibbs and Laporta out, my tight end and starting running back. So I was still okay with that, but I did start Aaron Jones there. He was down in London. He got hurt. And then my kicker, Jake Moody, he got hurt in the second quarter trying to tackle someone. That was stupid on the Niners. Then I had a couple players underperform. Like I had Baker for that Thursday night game against Atlanta. He gave me like 24. He was good. But like I had to start Pat Fryermuth for the Steelers. He did get a touchdown late in the
Oh
game,
yeah,
but
yeah,
that was
yeah.
the only thing he did. Like my kicker, like I said, he went out, so he only had like 3 points. Then I had to start Stevenson with the Patriots, and that was brutal. So
You
he,
got him
he gave me
again?
like
I didn't know you dropped him again.
I I had to pick him up again. I had him last year, and he pissed me off. Then I have Devonte Adams, and he's hurt right now, but he's
Yeah,
just trying to get the hell out
diva,
of Vegas. So
diva.
this week I will be better because I do have Aaron Jones is on a bye, but he's hurt anyway. So I should
Hmm.
I should get a win this week. How are you though? I heard you definitely
It was
have a
close.
better
It
story.
was close. So that was the thing. It was definitely actually probably one of my best for performance. I wish I was playing someone a little easier, but I was playing a guy that was 3-1. I'm 2-2 now. I'm 2-3. But yeah, so I did lose. I did have like two or three teams affected by the bye, so I'm glad I'm kind of getting some of those out of the way. But that did affect it. I picked up a really bad tight end. I picked up the one on the Bengals. I can't remember his name, but he got me like 1 point. Um, Swift did really good again. I'm happy with him. He's been kind of coming around.
He's been your main guy as of
For
late.
running backs, at least, yeah.
Yeah.
Connor didn't get really much. I think he might have got less than 7, I think.
Yeah, Arizona was airing the ball a lot against the Niners.
But I knew I was kind of screwed because I was still winning, actually, before Monday night, but he had Kamari, so I was just like
Yeah.
I think he was probably about 5 points or 5 or 6 points behind, so.
And yeah, you probably got that the first quarter with
It was
Kamara.
gone, yeah.
Things rely
And if
on
I
him.
started Drake London, I'm starting him this week, but he got 22 points on my bench.
Yeah, I don't know how you didn't start him because even the week before he played
know.
against KC and he had a real good game. You got to
Yeah.
start him, man. Kirk Cousins is back.
That's the I'm not I'm definitely not on the Kirk train, so to me
Oh,
maybe
I
that's
am,
probably why.
100%.
No,
Kirk's definitely top 10, 100%. Kirk
I think
O'Chains,
they're
man.
severely overpaying him, and it's gonna look
Oh
terrible
yeah,
in a few
because
years.
of his age alone too.
Yeah.
He's old.
And his injury,
No.
his record for injury, his history.
Yeah, that's true. That too. So I really want to talk about the Robert Saleh firing now because
Yeah.
this came I find so early on in the season, and people are starting to like. It's crazy how much people believe on the internet. People are saying it was a whole Aaron Rodgers thing. That's not true at all. Aaron Rodgers he came on a press conference and he says he's pissed that he's gone. It's just weird. I find that they have the worst offensive coordinator in the league, and then you fired this guy that came from the Niners. I would love the Steelers to pick him up to be their defensive coordinator. I would love for them. Like Robert Saleh, he was a decent coach. He did coach 56 games with a 20-36 record, and he did come into 2021, but he came in with a Zach Wilson and then a washed up Aaron Rodgers. So I really don't like what they did
It's
to
bad,
him. And
man.
apparently he couldn't even get to say goodbye to the team, and they escorted him. Security had to walk him out, and he didn't do anything. They just had to do it. That whole organization's a laughing stock of the NFL. I find
To me, I don't get it
They
all.
could just never get it right.
Obviously not, but to me, I just don't get it all. Getting rid of your head captain, your chief and staff, to me, just like I would rather, if you're gonna get rid of them at the end of a season, get rid of them in the off season, so then you have a time to actually progress and change. Because like, what's gonna happen now? To me,
Exactly.
I imagine a lot of the players are probably currently like really disheartened just because the franchise is willing just to dump their top guy like that in the middle of.
And it's so
week 5.
because what Jets fans were complaining the most about because Salah's defense stats are really good, but his offense stats suck.
Mm-hmm.
Because everyone's saying, "Oh, he's a defense coordinator. He's not a head coach. He's a really great defense coordinator, but he can't head coach." And everyone's like, "Yeah, okay, so get rid of him." But then the Jets make their fucking defense coordinator the head coach. I don't understand that at all. And I find if you're going to fire basically the boss of the coaching staff, why not get rid of his coaching staff with him? I don't know. Like that's even bad too because now you got his whole staff there, and he's just the only one gone. Like I find. He shouldn't be the one just to get punished himself.
Mm-hmm.
I find he was a great coach. Even when he talked, he seemed like a leader.
Mm-hmm.
Like it didn't look like he lost the room either. Like it seemed like the players liked him too. I don't understand.
And he was stuck with the franchise. Like it's similar with they always talk with the Leafs or 49ers or Lakers. You're put on so much scrutiny whenever you play for a team like that. So the fact that he was able to be a successful head coach, somewhat, like obviously he's not. He's not Andy Reid level, but he's at least showing promise. He's showing that he can run a defensive game, and I think also the Jets have struggled with the offense. Obviously, in the since he's coming in, who have they really gotten that has really improved? Like they got Aaron Rodgers, a washed up who broke his Achilles. First 8 snaps.
That can barely even walk now. The way he moves in that pocket, now you can tell he's uncomfortable.
And he ruined their season last year because he told them to pick up all these wide receivers from Green Bay, and then as soon as they didn't have Aaron Rodgers throwing to them, they were just like terribly overpaid receivers.
They even hired an offensive coordinator that Rodgers likes, but Diva Rogers I guess can get what he wants. That coordinator is not fired, but Robert Saleh gets the can. I just I can't believe Jets do not deserve to even make playoffs this
What is
year
kind of your
anymore.
take on Roger? I'm always kind of because you're kind of I don't know. Like, are you completely done with him? Like, just annoyed? Like, or do you still
I
kind of have
just
a glimmer
find
of humanity?
I still think he can still win games and stuff player wise. But even personally, I want him to stay in the league as long as possible. I just love his personality. I
Yeah,
find you need someone like that in the league. Like just like remember him going on about Jimmy Kimmel last year, just causing this
yeah. But now he's
crazy
back
stuff.
on. This band's over. Yeah, he's
Pat
back on Pat.
McAfee show. So
He's
he
always
was
the
on
best
Pat
part of
today.
that
He was
show.
talking.
Whenever they
Oh
have
yeah.
him on, it's like the funniest.
So he was. I actually watched the clip when he was talking about it, and he said like he had nothing to do with Salah's. But the way I see it, I just find he has such a high reputation for what he is now. If that makes sense, like his name is better than how he actually plays now.
He's just like a celebrity top QB because I think he still has like at least a top 15 QB, but you're really struggling to throw him in top 10, and the money that
Yeah.
he's making is pretty nuts, and he's
Oh, and he's still definitely the conversation of top five of all time. Like
oh
you can't
yeah.
take that away from him. You can't at
No,
all.
no, and I think I think with we're kind of I don't know. I think Tom Brady has set a bad precedent for that kind of age QB of like what you should look like. But I think it kind of is almost similar to Brett Favre whenever he's playing for like Cleveland. He did play for the Jets. It just was like
Minnesota too.
yeah, when you go back to Minnesota. But I think it just almost seems like you're holding on a bit too long to it. But it's definitely I think QB is one of the positions that you really got to have a lot of I don't know. You got to have a lot of agility, speed, and over time those things just go with you. So
With age,
it's
yeah, it's
cool that
not
he's
even
still
like
playing. He's
Flacco.
funny, even though he's an idiot, and he literally it's interesting though. Like he's not a married man. I think he's only been engaged like once. He's not a family. Like he's very. I think has a very. I don't know. Definitely an interesting personality because his family doesn't like
I
him.
heard, yeah, his
They don't
family. He doesn't even
associate
talk
with
to his
them.
family.
And it's like that's insane. Like usually, whenever someone gets that rich or that like famous, it's like that's when you snuggle up to him, and
Yeah,
that's when you start like kissing his ass to try to get some like money or whatever. And it's like it's interesting that like he was had to find. I don't know how good his relationship was before he was Aaron Rodgers of like Green Bay, but he's it's interesting to me. That's a very strange dynamic to be like that hated by your family. That even if you're rich and famous, they're like,
one of the best QBs of all time too.
yeah,
I'm gonna be honest.
yeah.
Like we still got lots. I know it's week 6 now. I can't believe that already, but I know there's still quite a bit of football left, so we could still see a lot of Aaron Rodgers this year. But if I was gonna bet
Do
money
you
on it,
think
if I had to,
playoffs? Do you see the Jets going to the playoffs? Come on,
I don't. I
me
don't.
either. Me either.
And I don't see Aaron Rodgers returning next year. I think this is last year. It has to be. Like I said, I would want
This
him
would
to
be
stay,
interesting.
but he
What if he
can't.
went? What if he signed with Cleveland? Would that be so interesting? Like for if he just said screw he's like this franchise isn't the curse. I'm gonna go to Cleveland. I'm gonna win. I don't know that, but like just imagine Aaron Rodgers in a Cleveland jersey.
It would be hilarious, especially with the way his helmet is. I just find the uniform would be so funny on it with the orange bucket. But I could see Cleveland making playoffs if they got him as quarterback because they have a really good roster. It's
Yeah,
just they have a Deshaun Watson on their team. Like
they have
Amari
Trevor.
Cooper, yeah, Amari Cooper is still such a good wide receiver, and I have him on my fantasy. But until Deshaun Watson gets benched, he ain't seeing the field. Because
Do you
I know,
think?
I remember even last year when Watson got hurt and they had Brissett in,
Mhm.
Amari Cooper just completely like a completely different player
This is
when
an
they
honest
switched
question
QB.
for you. Do you think I don't know what his name is off the top of my head, but the Jets owner GM, do you think that they would trust Deshaun Watson to babysit their kids?
Yes, that's how blatantly stupid they are. 100%. Definitely. They let him stay overnight.
But no, that is a word. Like to me, just that is one. Well, just to pay a terrible person like that, but just to have the worst starting QB in the league, and then paying him so much buttloads of money. This is going to be looked at in years to come as like
And they
the
even
worst signing, like the worst signing in sports history. It's like similar
and
to
the
like
coach.
Rich DiPietro.
Yeah, and the coach has been saying they're not benching him, like because he's too expensive just to have on the bench. You know how bad that's gonna look if they do that.
Sunk
Like
cost
at least
fallacy.
fake an injury or something, like something like that.
You ever hear that? I actually, I know this is what but sunk cost fallacy. It's like a business term, but it's essentially when you invested so much into something, and even though it's continued to fail, you double down on it because
Yeah,
you put so much into it. So I think
exactly.
it's not
That's actually
someone
a
brought that
really
up,
good point.
and I thought that was interesting. But to me, it's exactly what Deshaun Watson is. Um, just and it's similar. Also, I think it was the guy was talking about Bryce Young for that too, where it just is like they gave up like basically their future for a guy that has absolutely nothing, has no, I think, chance to succeed.
Oh God, no. And I kind of want to go back to the Niners and Steelers game because there is one thing that actually just came out a couple hours ago. George Pickens is getting investigated by the NFL by his black eyeliner he wore on Sunday
See,
night.
I
Did
didn't
you
even
not
know.
see?
I don't know. I
Did you
never.
not see what it said?
No, what
So
did it
it was like
say?
a black strip right here, and in white it had "always fucking opened," and it even showed it on TV and everything because no one noticed.
Full F U C
Full
K.
F bomb on live TV, right? And they
Yeah,
kept
that's
showing it and showing it. So now they're gonna investigate him. I don't see a suspension, but I'm gonna see a hefty fine. And back on Pickens, did you not see what he did at the end of the game? So one
no.
of the random second string cornerbacks on Dallas, he was. I will
Oh,
note he did have Pickens. I don't know. The main guy was hurt. I don't even know this guy's name. He doesn't even play. But so this guy, he did have Pickens pretty good all night, but it was so Pickens took him down to the ground with two fingers just like that at the end of the game. Legit two fingers because the guy had the ball and then he put it in Pickens' hand and Pickens just grabbed his face mask like that and then just pulled him directly to the ground. The guy got so mad. So with that, with the black eyeliner, I'm actually gonna eat my words. You could see a game or two suspension from
yeah.
George Pickens from that. If not, a really hefty
Do you
fine
think
is coming.
Do you think the Steelers are going to put up with that?
Tomlin doesn't.
That's the
Look
thing.
how AB turned out when as soon as he left Pittsburgh. He's a completely different guy.
Because there's something about Pickens. He's just such a
He's he's a
strange
very
player.
weird dude.
Yeah.
I love him though. I definitely want them to
But
keep him.
to me, doing stuff like that, I cannot see Tomlin being happy with that.
No,
Um,
because apparently the Steelers are supposed to be on Hard Knocks this year, but Tomlin was very unhappy with it because Tomlin always seems like this laid back, doesn't say much, quiet guy in the media. Apparently, behind closed doors, he's a complete animal. Like he'll scream at your face and like completely go off on you. Imagine how scary that would
oh
be.
my god, he
Him,
does have that. I think I asked during the game. I was like, "Does he have kids?" Because I would be scared if he
he
was my
does.
dad and he messed up. But
Oh man,
I always like that. That's like one of my favorite things to watch is Steelers. I love when they cut to him. He's like my favorite coach that they
he
cut to.
does
He
the
just
face,
always has just
his
such a
face.
good look, like just disgust or anger, or he just is
Because
like
every time they showed him, he was
he's
like
very like
that.
also you are he's very like he's very level
Mellow.
headed through it. Yeah, he's
Yeah, he
not
doesn't
like
say anything.
like he
No,
doesn't do that stuff.
I love though when that clip it came out on TikTok last year. The guy, let's get that win during halftime against Cleveland, and Ferrante goes, "Fucking working, man." The guy was so
Classic
like in
Tomlin.
shock. Now this is a really interesting stat this year that not many people are talking about, but I really think it's the Niners' main issue. So the Niners, as we know, they are 2-3. They got not embarrassed on Sunday, but they did kind
Bad
of give up a
loss.
lead. So Brock Purdy last year, this is a stat. So 6 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. So that's through the first 5 weeks of the NFL with Brock Purdy last year. So 6 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. This year, 6 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. That's what I think is the big problem in the Niners right now is him. He's thrown so many interceptions this year so far. I find he's given to they have a really good defense, but I find the Niners defense are on the field too much every game. And like I just find they just get turned out. I'm too tired, and then that's what happens the past 2 games with the Niners. Cardinals came back and scored on the final drive.
Well, I think it seems like the Brock Purdy experiment's over. To me, it doesn't seem like I don't know. I think there was like
he still has
it
6 touchdowns this year, and he's second in passing leader.
It was a flash in the pan, in my opinion, that he was able to be like the lowest possible draft pick and was able to make it to the bowl. Did lose, but I don't know. I just see, to me, this is like it's still this experiment, and I don't know. I don't see it as fruitful as it might seem.
I find though, I don't think he's that much of a problem as what you think. Thinking the experiment's over. I think Purdy is still a great quarterback. I would love to have him on Steelers, but like I just think I think he's really missing CMC because I think CMC is a true leader on that team. Because Brock Purdy, like I said, he is a decent quarterback, but he ain't the best.
No.
But the Niners, that's like if you think like the Niners, I know there's only 2 really big QB names that were in their franchises just before him.
Okay,
so.
Can I ask you, what is Brock Purdy best at? Because I'll give you my opinion what I think he's the best at. But
I think he's best at when he's in the pocket, when he throws when he's in the pocket, or when he shifts right and then throws. Like he's a really good mobile quarterback in the pocket. When he gets out, though, no, but he's really good at moving around in that pocket and getting open.
Because my opinion is always that he was set up to fail and he didn't. To me, that was his greatest strength. I think overall everything else, I think he underperforms.
I find he has one of the best balls in the league in strength and accuracy.
But I don't see. To me, I think it's also completely with Brock Purdy. It was completely the team that he was given. He was given one of the Super Bowl contender teams. That's the team that he was drafted on. He would have never gotten a start if he was drafted to Cleveland. Never gotten a start if he was drafted to Carolina. Nothing or the Jets. He wouldn't have had any starts, and if they did give him a start,
you could say that exact same thing about Tom Brady. And look where we are now with him. He's basically the exact same situation.
To me, it's someone that shot. Like it's a 16-year-old kid in a Lamborghini. It's a very, very nice. But as soon as you open it, it's a stupid idiot kid driving it. Even though it might look all flashy and cool on the outside, to me, it's a 16-year-old kid driving a Lambo, and they're gonna drive that thing just like that stupid streamer right into the side of the highway.
Owned the Cowboys, so you're gonna hate him. Obviously, he
I'm not biased.
You.
I'm not
he
biased.
Haunts you.
Brock Purdy I'm talking about pure facts.
You're still thinking of that playoff game. I know you are. You're still thinking of that blowout loss last year. Remember
eternal sunshine that loss.
Do I need to say that again? Do you remember George Kittle's shirt? Fuck the Cowboys.
Shut up.
Not just me. Even
they went
NFL players.
0-3 after that.
They went to the Super Bowl last year. Where'd Dallas go?
Yeah, and then they lost it.
Yeah. You see, you're being biased.
Pure facts. This is pure factual.
No.
You're the only one at the facts.
You would be the only one that says that bad of Brock Purdy. Yeah. Fuck it on. He haunts you rent free. Him and Dak are the exact same quarterback. They play the exact same.
Okay. I'm about to leave this call. You get the hell out of here. You know that's
it's
untrue.
True though. They play the exact same way.
No, they don't. He's at least
they do.
Okay. Dak has a lot more speed, a lot more mobile. You gotta agree with that. Okay. See, this is one thing about Cameron. He's actually kind of a closeted 49ers fan because his dad is the biggest 49ers fan I ever met. And I think a lot of ways he secretly defends them. Like, he's a secret interest.
You're like one of those delusional Cowboys fans that you see online. The amount of times that I heard at the start of football years, this is our year, blah, 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 all this shit. And then you guys are the most people that talk shit on any fan base. You would see someone with like a Jacksonville hat on in public, and if the Cowboys were playing them, you would harass that poor guy in the middle of public. Any Cowboys fan would. It's just sad. You would harass him. You would follow him around saying your team sucks. You're biased. Jordan, who would you say the best quarterback in the NFL is? Would you say Dak Prescott?
Mahomes, no.
See, that's not even the right answer.
And Mahomes could have
Justin
been a
Fields
Cowboy.
has better stats than
Mahomes could have
Mahomes.
been a Cowboy.
Justin Fields has better stats than Mahomes this year.
He's not 5.
Just because he's a household
He's
name
not
doesn't mean
5-0
he's the
though.
best. Just because he's a household name doesn't mean he's the best.
No, I think in terms of winning, in terms of bringing his team to being the most competitive, game-winning drives, to me, there's no one better behind the wheel than Mahomes. And it annoys me. I don't want it to be that. I would love it. Cowboys draft.
I could give you 3 quarterbacks that I would rather have than Mahomes.
Who?
I would rather have Josh Allen. Yep. I would rather have who else? Because I know that there is 3. Not Herbert. Herbert's kind of dumb. I would argue I would throw in there CJ Stroud.
Over Lamar?
No, Lamar's my 3rd. Lamar
to me is the closest, but even still, he's not proven himself the way that Mahomes has.
Mahomes
is the most interesting, but I do think there is some stuff. Mahomes has definitely gotten the better end of calls and things like that. But I do think that Mahomes, to me, even though he lost his
Mahomes
his
has
star
over
wide
100
receiver,
career
he still made it to the bowl
off due to penalties. You know that, right?
I know I'm not denying that stuff, but I think Mahomes he's the best QB currently right now. I wish it was Lamar because I like Lamar's style of play more.
To that Daniels in Washington. If you're talking right now, I would give it to him.
I don't. He's on my fantasy. He's been doing great, but
I would start him.
I've started the past few weeks, but he's been showing a lot of good signs, and I'll probably really like. The problem is divisional. I'm shocked at actually how good the Commanders have been playing this year.
Yeah, I haven't seen the Commanders even close to this in years. Like my uncle's super happy about it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's the only Commanders fan I know.
Yeah. So going a little bit to next week, who the Cowboys got?
Playing the Lions.
Ooh, that's gonna be a good game. Oh, yeah, see, how can they don't make that prime time and take off the Bengals and Giants? No one wants to watch that. Cowboys and Lions would be a great Sunday night game.
Actually, my friend Caden, I think he's going to a game this week. I'm pretty sure he's going to the Bills game.
Ooh,
yeah, I think he's also. He said there was also like really cheap prices for the Giants and Bengals game because they're both pretty bad teams.
Well, I know they tried to get the game flexed by CBS because CBS has Washington and Baltimore, and the NFL tried to switch it in the later on in the seasons they do switch games because TV providers let you, but so early on because it's only week 6, CBS is like, we don't want to drop the best game of the week. We want the views, so we're not doing it. But if it was like only 3 weeks left of the NFL, they would have. But the NFL tried, and they wouldn't do it. So we're stuck with Cincinnati and fucking Giants.
Yeah. And who's
the
Steelers playing?
The Steelers got the Raiders, and they're benching Gardner Minshew, and Devontae Adams is not playing. So Steelers, that should be a very easy win, bounce back win, get back in the winning column, which I'm really happy with because that loss in Dallas, that's still bugging me. They should be 4-1 right now. Especially going into this game while being 4-1 would be unreal. But nope, we're going in 3-2. The Ravens are first in the AFC North now. It's crazy in just 2 weeks how you could be up here to here with your division. But yeah. I mean, the Ravens and Steelers are tied, and the Steelers always beat the Ravens, so that could decide the fact. But back on the 49ers, they play the Seahawks Thursday. So that's going to be a really good game. But if the Niners do lose that game, they are 0-3 in the division going into week 7. And then they got KC next week. So this is definitely a must-win for the Niners.
That's going to be
if they don't win this week, the Niners are not making
How
playoffs.
mad is your dad at the like? Is he how like is he must be scared shitless for that game, but he must be also excited to
Well, no,
yell
his
at the
prediction
TV.
is the Niners are gonna destroy the Chiefs. This is his prediction. Bear with me. Bear with me. The Niners are gonna destroy the Chiefs. He thinks they're gonna meet up in the Super Bowl again. A lot of people do think that. And he thinks the Chiefs are gonna win. He thinks that's just such a 49er thing to happen. Just destroy them in the season and then win by like a field goal. They would in the Super Bowl, he said. I can see that happening. That would make him quit football, I think.
I'm nervous for the Lions because the Lions are a good team, especially
Lions are really, and they're fresh off a bye too. So
yeah. So they could be a little refreshed up. But no, I'm thinking the Cowboys. I don't know. It's hard though. It's a slot, and also we did. I forgot to mention. I'm surprised you didn't bring it up. 3 picks from Dak. Dak, what
I
the
don't know
hell was
why.
that? And so
Yeah.
that's one thing I'm scared of with his accuracy. It didn't. I know the Steelers probably I'd say have a better defense than the Lions, but the Lions still
Oh
are
yeah.
really
The
good.
Steelers offense doesn't exist right now, man.
Yeah. So to me, I think they got to
Doesn't
get to
even
a hot
exist.
start. They got to just stop with this penalty bullshit where we're constantly losing yards and losing these good plays. We're losing first downs and stuff like that because some idiot's holding a guy for too long. So I
Think
don't.
of the because we seen it on Sunday night as well. They were not on the same page at all, and you see them arguing on the sidelines. That CD and Dak drama is still going on. What are your honest thoughts on that? Because you want those guys to be as tight as can be. So do I for fantasy, but you more just for the season. Because like we seen on the sidelines there, and you could read CD's mouth. You can hear him say, "Throw the ball 12." Or what number is Dak? 8? What number is he?
4.
4, yeah. Both throw the ball 4, and then you see him say, "Throw the ball, Dak." Like fuck sakes, and Dak didn't even look at him. So that drama is still going on. That's not good, especially with the Cowboys being a little banged up on offense with the wide receivers. And kind of CD is all that they got right now, which is the best you can have on paper. But with this drama going on, it is not good.
No,
Like,
it's
what are your
bad.
thoughts on it? Like, do you think like who do you think like I don't know why CD's getting so mad? Like,
I think to me it's typical receivers. They're usually all divas. They're all one because they always
especially
see
when they
the.
get paid.
I think the biggest thing that they're, it's probably also has to do with like where you're seeing it from. But to me, I think there's a lot of times where they don't really see that the QB was under pressure. That they don't really see that the QB like had to
No,
make a
they don't
decision
see.
in a second on where to throw
Yeah.
it and didn't see you. So I think a lot of times, I think and also a lot of teams are quite covering him. Like they're really. So I think he's scared that he's gonna get picked off more if he keeps attempting to throw to Lamb. I think Lamb could
Because
be
like
really
you can't
good, but
force it.
and I don't know.
You can't
I
force
think
the
to
play.
me, I'm thinking, I'm not. I'm not very ecstatic by how big they signed Dak. I defend Dak enough because he's the guy doing the job right now. But I don't know. I don't see Dak as to me a Super Bowl QB, and I don't know. I think I like CD
I
Lamb.
could see them win a Super Bowl, but with like a really top tier defense. But I find the defense is kind of lacking this year compared to last year.
And Missy
Like they
Parson
were a
was bad too.
vicious defense last year, the Cowboys.
No, we were
It was
amazing.
fun to watch. It was really fun to watch that defense.
No. But I thank you guys so much for joining us this week of the podcast. This has been a blast. Any final words, Cameron?
I gotta say is I hope those Steelers bounce back against those Raiders, and Steelers should have won that game. Dallas really fucked up, but anyway, you win some, you lose some, I guess.
And the Steelers are good at losing. I
No.
screwed that. I screwed
Same
that up.
same record.